the work of the guys. I thought, especially for a first game in a season, and then a number of guys. We probably had between Dayon, Ricky, obviously Joseph. Those guys didn't get much time in preseason either, so they came out, and I thought I thought everyone, but I thought they were very good. Trying to get in sync in terms of organizing a press and how to get pressure to them was going to be tough, just because again those guys haven't had much time on the field together, and so I thought we did a really nice job of just condensing the field, making it difficult for them. And from a defensive standpoint, I thought the back line, I thought everybody stood tall for a lot of the game. John made a couple big saves, which you're going to have to make against a team like this. It's with the quality that they have, you've got to make a save. I thought we left a few opportunities on the table. Then that probably can be the difference when you're playing a team with the quality that they have. Is you gotta finish your chances for sure when you get those opportunities. But I'm really proud of the group. I look forward because I see what this team is capable of, even on a night like tonight, and knowing that guys are still coming together and getting healthy and all that kind of stuff. I'm excited about the group we have.
Hey, Greg, thanks for your time. You've been part of a number of MLS Cup championship teams, both as a player and a coach. What did you think of the atmosphere tonight? Was it kind of similar to that? And how do we get to the point where every game is like this?
It's interesting. I said that before the game. I was like, gosh, one day every night it's going to be like this, like a night like tonight, where every game it's a spectacle of sorts. I think the league just has to keep growing, right? You got to keep getting top players because that's what people want to see. The quality of soccer continues to get better, but I think this is a sign that progress is being made. It did have a sense of a final, so that was great. And players love to play in this type of environment. You see the game that you saw tonight, partly because of the atmosphere that's created by everything and everyone that's going around, and it gets all of the resources of all of the players out there, like at the highest level, concentration and work rate and all those things. And then you get a really interesting game out of it. So I don't know. I can't tell you how long, but I feel like we're moving in that direction. We see it through different times. Last year, we certainly saw it in the Rose Bowl when it was LAFC and us. And that night had a feel of a final and a spectacle, and it was in the middle of the season. So there's ways and there's moments for it. And I hope more and more of these nights continue to come. For sure. I love it. They're playing against a team like that with players like that is a big challenge, trying to organize your group and set them up. And I thought the game was there for us too. So I was, again, really pleased with the guys, and it's fun for me.
Hey, Greg, a couple of situations there. Mark Delgado, 2 yellows. I don't know if you thought they were yellows.
Was that your response for the second yellow?
Well, the first one too. I mean, just your overall thoughts on the 2 yellow cards that were sort of non-yellows, maybe.
Really, really soft. I mean, really soft. It's tough on a game like this, just where there's so many people here to watch the game, and it's a big spectacle too. We got to be careful with handing out soft yellows, and it ultimately changes the game, right? It changes the game big time. You don't want to give Messi any more space than is already out there. Then he certainly took advantage of that. But that's unfortunate, and hopefully we don't see that too much.
Greg, following up on the yellows, though, the fact that you have replacement referees in there, do you think that factors into just the overall quality of the game? It seemed like there were real physical at first, a lot of yellow cards, and then no yellow cards. And was it difficult on the tempo side?
I think it's just a big game. I think it's a big game for anyone, and so just the experience of the crew and all that is obviously a part of it. But I thought they did the best they could inside of the game. They made some mistakes, as they say. Players make mistakes. It's just part of it. We were happy to play the game tonight and didn't have a scenario last year like the first game doesn't actually arrive. So we were happy to play the game. I thought. I stay focused on the things that we need to, which is I thought we performed well, and I wish we would have taken a little bit more out of it. It took a play late in the game where almost a deflection that goes back to Messi. It was almost like we dealt with the first one, and then it goes back to him, and then the speed of the game picks up again, and then when he and Alba connect like that, it's ridiculous. It's really, really difficult to defend, and Alba is very good at finding Messi when he gets on the move like that. Unfortunately, he just slipped away from us for a split second, and that became the difference.
And then on the PK at the beginning there, Ricky missed that. He doesn't have, maybe have the best record on that. Is that something maybe you'll direct to somebody else or have a talk with him?
Yeah, will definitely be a topic.
Hey, Greg, this game, Dejan Joveljic had a goal. What did you think of his overall performance throughout his entire game?
Good. It's a little bit tough game at times because you're trying to organize getting pressure to them, and sometimes you're in between. Ricky was in lockdown Busquets mode, so then it became a lot of work for Dejan, sometimes getting between the two center backs and trying to get pressure, so it became some work on that side. I thought, again, I don't think we have to use him too much in link-up play. I just don't think that's going to be our primary use of him, but I felt like he got into some good spots. I felt like his movements were good. I think he's going to find more opportunities again with our wingers and with the way we're playing and the speed we're playing. Opportunities are gonna show up, and so I think it's a good solid start for him. And again, he didn't have much of a preseason because he missed a fair number of the minutes. So really getting up to maximum speed and sharpness is something he's still working through. But in general, I was pleased with his presence.
Yeah, and just your general thoughts on the back line. I mean, we got to see Maya and Martin play together for the first time, and Mickey making his first MLS appearance.
I was really pleased with them. It's not an easy team to play against, and the more time they have on the ball, the more difficult they are to play against. In terms of managing your gaps and managing the width. And I thought they did a good job. I thought Eddie did a good job of trying to protect them and trying to take certain things away. And the group collapsed and dealt with stuff. Maya dealt with a lot of crosses, today that he was able to clear and intercept. But I thought they played like what you would expect. Two very experienced center backs who've seen a lot of things over the years and have helped to organize and read plays and deal with situations. You didn't see any, for lack of better words, little kid stuff. It was two mature guys who really kind of understood the situation and dealt with scenarios very well.
Hey, Greg, Rob Jalan, Last Word on Sports. This game was pretty intense from the get-go. A lot of fouls really quickly. Were you surprised with the intensity, the chippiness of the game at all?
Not really. I think you have Miami, who was Miami, and our guys we're looking forward to lining up against Miami. So that brings a little bit of intensity to the situation. I think Miami's playing the Galaxy, which, if you probably look at the slate of games that they have, there are a few of them that probably get their attention, and this is, maybe one of them. And I think that some of the calls early were maybe a touch soft, which maybe gets guys a little bit frustrated and wound up, and then you get into it a little bit more. So I think different things kind of come into the game. You catch somebody the wrong time, the wrong way. I think the game picked up a little bit when Messi and Edwin were having some words. Then I felt like the intensity found just a little bit of a different level after that. They started pressing a little bit more, and I felt like the game clicked on a little bit. So no, I'm not really surprised. Two highly competitive teams that are good and wanted to win today. So I think that's I like it. I think that's the way you want to get into a season and get ready to go.
Do you have an update on Julian Aure and perhaps on Gaston? Thank you.
Yeah, Julian is, I think he was more cramping than anything. He said he didn't, his terms were, I didn't break the muscle. I think he was just cramping. And with Gaston, he'll be ready to go. He was ready to go tonight. I was just concerned with, to be honest, with just the amount of defending we were doing and just him getting the confidence to be in challenges and tackles and situations like that. I just want to get him a little bit further along for that. I know he's going to be pissed, but because everybody wants to be in a game like this, but I was just feel like if we could get him one more week of live tackles and playing and training, because then he'll be even more ready for the long haul of the season.
Hi, Greg. The art of closing a game isn't easy. Is there anything, and especially kind of considering last season, there were moments where you should have won games, not lost games. Is there anything you're working on specifically this season, maybe even from a mental point of view, with the players in terms of always be closing?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is to keep all 11 guys on the field. That would have helped us, I think, closing out tonight. But yeah, I mean, we've been talking about it. We worked on being in a little bit lower block and having to protect our goal at times because we were down a man. It was hard to be any more aggressive stepping out and trying to get to them because the repercussion of that is you have Messi with space and behind your line. So you got to sit and try to be compact as best you can for tonight. But it's definitely something that we know we need to be better at than last year. But I don't think that's going to be a problem. But I think it's something that we definitely have talked about and focused on, and that's just generally defending. But seeing out games is a part of that for sure.
Hey, Greg, right over here behind Damien. Two quick ones. Damien, over here. Thanks. You mentioned the word that I want to go back to, and you said potential. Tata was just in here talking about Payne, still talking about Peck, saying that it looks like a different team, which was evident. He also praised Yoshida and Cáceres. Does it feel like a little bit of a sigh of relief for you to have these players come in so easily and kind of integrate themselves and give you that potential and give you kind of a sense of these are players that you want in your system? And too quickly on just the goalkeeper situation, are you leaning one way or another, or is it just open competition?
Talking about the team and the group, I'm really excited about this group because I think we have, I think for the first time, a really nice balance between guys who want to play in between the lines and guys who want to play and go to goal and get behind and take people on one. And your team always has to have balance. You can't have a bunch of guys who want to come and get the ball at their feet. You got to have guys who want to run and want to play on the run and play on the move. And having a player like Ricky who can skate through spaces and can get to the next line, having guys who can run is going to benefit him. It's going to benefit Dayon. It's going to benefit the whole team. So I'm excited about it because I also think it's going to be really tough for teams to clog up the middle of the field on us because that's what everybody did when they came here in the past or played us last year. Is just create density in the middle of the field and see if the wings can actually beat you. Well, now we can beat you on the wings, and that's what I feel like we're going to be. And so now you gotta make a decision. You got to defend the full width of the field, and that's going to open up real opportunities for everybody. And so I'm excited about this group. Again, I think it's an athletic league. I think it's a league that requires you to have guys who can do those types of things. And I think we're in a good spot. And today was just a sample of where I think we can get to with this group. As far as keepers, John is the starter right now, but we really believe in Novak's potential. John has a really great presence behind the group, and his experience and leadership and communication is important. Novak's still gaining that sort of confidence in behind the group, but he has a really high ceiling too. So I really like the two guys that we've got back there. I feel really confident with both of them, and we'll want to bring along Novak this year for sure. But John gives us a lot of stability and a lot of leadership, and I really appreciate his personality. That's one of the things that I feel like is really good inside of our locker room and also inside of our team.
Anything else? We'll go to one question on Zoom unless
There's one more here.
yeah. We'll go in person right here. Let's just wait for the crowd mic.
All right. Hi, Anthony Bautista with the Sporting Tribune. Thank you for your time, Greg. So you guys have the Cali Clasico coming up. You were talking about the atmosphere today and the energy. Obviously you don't have to tell these guys to get up for a Clasico, but what's the message to the team to keep this intensity up for the rest of the season in the long haul?
That's it. I mean, I think tonight is a night that, and this is why I like these types of games early. They set a standard for you, and when you play against Miami, they require you to set a standard or else you're going to get blown off the field. And so our work rate, our defensive concentration, the speed at which the ball was moving, all the speed at which we were transitioning, I thought, all of those things this should be a standard for us. And now the question is, can we do this week in, week out and get a little bit sharper, take our chances a little bit better, keep improving as a group, keep integrating guys into the system. But it's important that we, given also just where we've been last year, I don't think you're going to have to motivate a ton of these guys. They know what last year felt like, and they certainly don't want to be in that. So I think the guys are going to be excited to get out and play, and I think they genuinely enjoy each other and feel like they have some real pieces to do some stuff, and so I think they'll look forward to each of these matches.
I got a quick one and then one that's maybe not as quick. Is this the best backline performance or in the conversation for best backline performance during your tenure here?
It's fair. I haven't thought that deeply about it yet, but but I think it's got to be up there because I think it was very clean. It was very without too many, if any, real errors against a team that asks a lot of questions of you on the defensive side of things and are very clever the way they move, and players that are Messi in particular that's just so precise with the things that he can do that you can't be one step out or one step off or you could pay. And so I think you have to give a lot of credit to the guys that again, they were really locked in and really connected, and they did a nice job of reading situations together as a group. And so you'd have to put it up there without question.
Can you go into a little, some of the details and maybe also a contrast with Pinsel and Peck, what we saw out there today?
Yeah, they have some similarities in that they're both pretty direct. I would say Paintsville is a little less direct. Will pop in between the lines sometimes. Will play, whereas Peck is quite direct. He's looking to go behind. He is going to drive forward. I think they have some qualities. Paintsville maybe a little bit more. Occasionally will come in between the lines, like I said, and come inside and invert it. So today he played on the right, which is his strong foot is his right foot. So definitely he was driving a little bit more to the outside, but as he slides over to the left at times, and I think when they're on their inverted side, if you will, I think you'll see Paintsville probably slide inside from time to time, but not a lot. I want them both to be provide and to go after the fullbacks.
Speed.
Oh, he does, yeah.
More capable of taking people on.
Maybe they'll both take people on one, but I think Peck really likes to have his heels on the sideline, and he's going to want to run at people and take people on. Whereas Paintsville sometimes will drift inside. He'll play in between the lines a little bit more. He will play with his heels on the line, but he has a tendency to do that. He's played in more positions on the field even than Peck per se. But Peck likes to get his heels on the line and run behind and really attack fullbacks. And go one-on-one.
Just one more question, if you don't mind. Hey, how you doing, Greg? Crystal Rich, KTLA. You mentioned early on that you don't want to give Messi more room than you have to. We know what he can do in really tight windows. Just your evaluation of his game tonight, and for you personally, what is it like for you coaching against a player of his caliber?
It's just, I mean, everybody sees his quality on the ball, his quality when he's playing. For me, it's the brain, right? It's what he sees on the field, where he recognizes different spaces, where he knows where everybody is all the time, and he's already organized what the next series of plays look like. Not just the next pass, but the next series of passes. He's already calculated all of that out, and he's already manipulating things on the field. And that's why it's tough sometimes when you give them time on the ball, his capacity to just manipulate spaces, manipulate whether defenders are able to step out and get pressure to something or have to stay in and defend because he's taken up a certain position. Like, it's just constantly manipulating the decisions that are happening on the field, which is hard to coach against, but it's a pleasure, to watch. And then obviously when he gets the ball and he takes the game again to another level and another speed and still has the quality inside of that's what's really different in the grand scheme of things, the precision on everything else. But it's just 90 minutes of calculation, and you see a lot of guys who move a lot. He doesn't necessarily move a lot, but he's always impacting the game with the different spots that he's taken up around the field, which they influence what you can do on the defensive side and how you got to manage situations. But I thought our guys handled it really, really well. I mean, unfortunately, got away from us one time.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for your time, Greg. We'll now be joined by LA Galaxy forward Paintsville, who made his debut tonight. In front of a record